State University economist who's here to talk about the economic impacts of the Bakken pipeline.
I'm going to bring those lights down.
Yeah, I'll have to get some in.
Okay. I have to turn this machine on. I don't normally need a microphone, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, I know. As she said, I'm Dave Swenson, Iowa State University. I work in the Department of Economics. Many of you have seen some of the work that I've done a lot of work across the state of Iowa. I've been working in this state for about 25 years, 25 at Iowa State University and another 5 at the University of Iowa. My job over those years has been to study Iowa's economy, period. I study Iowa's economy. I look at the Midwest, but I study Iowa's economy. And one of the things that I've been doing over those years is conducting what are called economic impact studies, helping people understand the dynamics of change, the consequences of change, where change is occurring, why it's occurring, and who it's occurring to. So those are the kinds of activities that I've been involved with. They're going to bring these lights down, I guess, to make this a little clearer, so I'm not going to try to get too far ahead of myself. First of all, see if this thing works. You can't see that. But anyway, I'm going to be evaluating the economic impact study that's been produced on behalf of this pipeline. And I've done lots of evaluations of these kinds of studies. I've evaluated a lot of things. I've had the opportunity over the years to evaluate, for example, the biofuels development economic impact studies, and to write reports and or to suggest standards for that kind of economic impact analysis. I've done the same thing in local foods. I've done it for wind energy. I'm currently with a group of people looking at reform of all places economic impact studies of universities, because they are universally the worst economic impact studies there are. I don't know. I'm not here. I've done a lot of this. I'm here to talk about the Iowa portion of this study. Some of what I'm going to be saying applies to the broader region, but I'm talking about the Iowa portion of this study. I'm not here, by the way, offering any kind of opinion on the feasibility, utility, desirability, or any other economic aspect of this project. I'm just simply talking about the economic impact study that was produced on behalf of this project. I want folks to learn how to understand economic impact results. I'll take a minute to show you how to do that. I want to try to translate the distortions that I see into clarity. And I want to try to promote among consumers the capacity to critically evaluate this kind of research. It tells down there what's going on. My stake in this is public education to facilitate informed decision making. I want smart citizens. I want smart elected leaders. You put the two together, you get better public policy. So that's my disclaimer. I have to do that. I'm not an advocate for anything other than smart people. Bottom line on this project. If this project is approved, there will be sizable, short-term, localized economic impacts as a result of it. That is flat out undeniable. That's undeniable. Those impacts will not be as large, however, as the studies contend. And I'm going to show you why that is. Now, if you didn't think there wouldn't be impacts, well, that doesn't make sense. Of course there's going to be impacts. You don't put a great big something in one area and not have economic impacts. But that's not my point. I have concerns over several aspects of that study, but I'm only going to highlight those that are overestimating the expected Iowa impact. So that's where I'm going. Now, first thing we want to talk about is that study, and what does it tell us? That study reported, and many people reported this. The results are reported in something called job years. And folks, I'm going to get to what a job year is in just a little bit, but I want to teach you how to deal with an economic impact study. How do you read something like this? Now, this is going to be a little bit fast, so pay attention, okay? This project, the entire life of the project in Iowa, is going to make about $628 million worth of expenditures. To spend that money, it's going to require almost 4,000 jobs. This is just in the construction area. You're going to pay those people $230 million worth of labor income. Okay, so we got line one. We got this economic activity. Because we're doing this kind of output in the region, we're going to require some inputs. Those are called indirect effects. So the inputs we're going to buy, this model says, or this analysis says, $210 million worth of inputs from the Iowa economy. That's good too. To produce those inputs requires another 1,520 jobs, making almost $80 million worth of money. Now we've got the second line of an impact study. We're translating it, we're understanding it. When the direct workers and the indirect workers take their paychecks and they spend them out in the Iowa economy, they induce another round of spending. Household spending. The household spending would support then $250 million worth of consumption or household spending in the economy, which would require 2,104 people, making $81 million. You sum these three things up, and you get the economic impact that gets declared. $1.1 billion worth of economic output, 7,623 jobs would be associated with this initial level of spending, and then over here, $390 million worth of labor income. Labor income is the kind of money you make. Non-labor income is the kind of money investors make. That's different. Okay. So I like to pay attention to labor income. But I got a problem with this. This great big number is reported in job years as if this all occurred in 1 year. But it's not going to occur in 1 year. It's going to occur in 2 years. In 2 years. So they entered all of the information up into a system and reported the results in, quote, job years, but they're going to occur in 2 years. So the way you would normally do that, if you were trying to maximize public understanding of the economic contribution to the state of Iowa, you would at least divide those numbers by 2. You would say that you get this much in year 1, you get this much in year 2. This much in year 1, this much in year 2. And it would be reported as such in the media because then the media would understand exactly what's going on. To sum it into a total for job years and then pretend as if that somehow is valid is actually distorting. The media picked up the big numbers. It is not going to produce 7,600 jobs. It's going to produce 3,800 jobs annually. My example up here. I have worked at Iowa State University for 25 years. I am 25 job years. Look at me. 25. I'm just one job, folks. I'll give you another example. People here know that Des Moines is going to get one of the NCAA regional tournaments. NCAA regional tournaments. That's going to create an economic impact, isn't it? We're going to have to hire hundreds of people to accommodate that economic impact, right? Economic impact. Well, you might make a declaration that says that the tournament is going to employ hundreds of people. Well, no, it's only going to employ hundreds of people for a little bit of time. And so the model system that we use translates that information into a job year. It's usually used for impacts that are less than a year so that we get an annualized value of something without a gross distortion. Private consultants, especially, have flipped that over on its head and are using it for multiple year projects and making a declaration. Okay.